Revelation 3234. From the 27th of August 1944. Source of power. Creator of power. All creations must be regarded as gathering points of spiritual energies, yet they are obviously expressed in the works of creation which betray life, where constant activity therefore proves these energies. Thus forces are recognized in these creations which are active in them, yet the origin of the strength is perceived differently, and not infrequently completely independent of the works of creation. The fact that God Himself is the source of strength, from whom all life emanates, is usually denied, as well as the human being cannot believe unanimously. A force is indeed acknowledged, but it is presented as emanating from itself and founded in itself. For intellectual thinking only reckons with things that are demonstrably present, but not with those whose existence is not proven. This is a stage of spiritual ignorance, although earthly man is regarded as knowing. The power that is given to every living being is clearly recognizable for the time being, since without it the being would be lifeless. But this power is also in every other work of creation, otherwise it would slowly dissolve, just like the wrapping of a living being after its death. But as long as it exists and is visible to people's eyes, it is also the bearer of spiritual strength which must of necessity have its origin somewhere. For this strength is indestructible. It can indeed flow into or out of a vessel, but it can never evaporate into nothing. The coming into being and passing away of creation obviously testifies to the inflow and outflow of this life force. Therefore, the force must have its origin somewhere. And this exit is the center of force. It is God Himself. No matter what concept man has of God. If every work of creation were itself the producer of the force that animates it, then the work of creation could never ever perish as such, because a force does not cease to be. Therefore, the human being as such would also have to be eternally imperishable if he himself, independent of a force owner, were capable of living on his own. For since he is the bearer of a force during his life, but force is eternally indestructible or indissoluble, he, as the self-generator of this force, would already be immortal as a human being. But if the force flows out of him, then it flows back from the original source, or a new receptacle is fed with it, but again from the original source. Otherwise death and birth in human existence would have to be directly separated, or at least the death of the human being would at the same time cause the birth of a new being. Always a source of power must be recognized, from which the power radiates in a certain regularity and feeds the respective receptacles. And everything that is visible or tangible in creation must be regarded as receptacles. Every work of creation is a power bearer, every work of creation draws power from the power center and thereby becomes alive, that is, it can perform an activity which is incumbent upon it, an activity which is the purpose of existence and requires a constant supply of power. Now how one names the source of power, how one imagines it, is unimportant, so long as it is only recognized and so long as the dependence of everything created on this source of power is recognized. Then the human being, who is equipped with intellectual thinking, will also be able to grasp the correlations, which he will never be able to do as long as he believes himself to be independent of the power which sustains him. The power always and forever remains what it is. It does not change, does not need itself and does not lose its effectiveness. It is there and cannot pass away by itself. And since constant death and constant passing away is evident in creation, this must have an outflow of this power as a cause. Therefore this power must also have once flowed to creation. But the source must be sought elsewhere than in the created things themselves. But the source of strength is from eternity and will remain for all eternity. The source of power is God Himself, a being who stands in supreme perfection, who is full of strength, power, love and wisdom, and who continually pours out this power on everything created by his love according to an unsurpassably wise plan. Amen.